Okay.
I'm Ivan Lewis. I'm the Shadow Secretary of State for International Development. I'm just concluding a 3-day visit to Rwanda and the east of Democratic Republic of Congo, Goma, to find out for myself the impact of the recent militia violence, which has provoked yet another dreadful humanitarian crisis in Goma and the surrounding area. And there's a lot to reflect on in terms of this visit. Met senior members of the Rwandan government, made it very, very clear to them that whilst we continue to want a positive relationship between the United Kingdom and Rwanda, while we recognise the horror of the history of that country in terms of the genocide, the tremendous progress that's been made in terms of economic development and poverty reduction, that there can be no excuses for their interference anymore in the east of Congo. It has got to stop, and I urge the British government to discontinue budget support for the time being. I believe that that was the right decision, and the Rwandan government must understand that destabilising this part of the Democratic Republic of Congo is entirely unacceptable. Equally, the government of DRC has got to start taking responsibility for improving the quality of life of people in this country. The level of poverty is horrendous. The level of violence, particularly sexual violence, is completely unacceptable. And the international community also has a crucial role to play. I think there are 3 elements to achieving stability and progress in eastern DRC. First of all, security. There has got to be a strengthening of the capability and the professionalism of the security services and the police. Whether it's MONUSCO, the UN, whether it's strengthening the DRC army and making sure it's professional, whether it's bringing some more troops from Africa. The issue is that security has got to be effective and professional and give people a sense of long-term security. Second of all, we have got to see a political process that resolves for once and for all a sense that there is external interference in this country involving Rwanda, Uganda and others. And that political process can only be resolved through an inclusive process involving people countries living in this neighbourhood, the political leaders of those countries, reaching a political settlement, but also making sure that that political settlement is delivered and implemented on a sustainable basis. And the final element has to be development. We have got to go from perpetual humanitarian emergency interventions in the east of DRC to a development agenda. The scale of the donor community's ambition has got to match the scale of the challenge. I've seen lots of young people with tremendous potential, aspiration, but see little hope for the future. We should be giving those young people a sense of hope through vocational training and jobs. There is so much that needs doing here in terms of investing in infrastructure. I've also met people of all generations who have used one word time and time again. What do we want? What people here say they want is peace. There is not hatred. People want to move away from the historical divisions. But what they desperately want is peace. I've seen for myself people having to live, displaced people in dreadful conditions, frankly, in refugee camps, surviving on the most basic of rations. Many of those people have been displaced time and time again. There is no sense of security for themselves or their children or their families. So we have to have a strategy, we have to have a vision, and we have to believe that it's not too difficult to achieve change in DRC, not to put it in the too difficult box. We have got to see progress, and as I say, we have to see a response which matches the scale of the challenge. If we're able to do that, the tremendous talent and aspiration of the people in this part of the DRC can be fulfilled. It is a massive task. I don't underestimate the scale of that task, but it's about time we collectively started to take responsibility for bringing stability and development to eastern DRC.